Okay, this diagram shows the Bohr models for hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen, and oxygen. All right, so I want you to notice that there are empty rooms on each atom. And those empty rooms are places where another electron can come, so they have a full octet. So they have 8 electrons. Okay, so that's the goal. For carbon, nitrogen, oxygen to have 8 electrons. So what does this mean? Well, carbon can gain 4 electrons. So if we look right here, if we look right here, you look here, and you look here, it can gain 4 electrons, okay? So carbon needs to gain 4 to become like neon, right? So let me draw the electron dot diagram for neon. Okay, be patient with me. Get my dots out there. Okay, so these are the valence. Remember, the electron dot diagram shows the valence electrons for neon, and neon has 8, and it's stable. So they all want to have 8. So carbon has 4 spots for 4 electrons. Nitrogen has 1, 2, 3 spots. So nitrogen can gain 3 electrons. Oxygen has 1 and 2 spots to gain 2 electrons. So oxygen is 2 away from being just like the noble gas, the next noble gas, which is neon. Nitrogen is 3 away from being like neon, and the carbon is 4 away. Now, I skipped hydrogen on purpose because hydrogen only has 1 orbital. And if you look in the first orbital, let me use a different color. Use pink. First orbital can only hold 2 electrons, okay? So once there are 2 electrons, it's already a completed orbital. We don't really call it a full octet because, again, octet, like octagon, means 8, okay? So there's only 2, so we don't really call it a full octet, but it is definitely a full orbital. Okay, so the big takeaway here, let me go back here. Big takeaway here is that atoms tend to gain, lose, or share electrons as to have 8 or a full outer shell. Okay, so that little caveat there is because, oh, it disappeared. Oh, there, it's back. That little caveat there is because atoms like hydrogen and helium, okay, here's helium. Hydrogen and helium only have 1 orbital, and only 2 electrons can go in that orbital. So again, atoms want to gain, lose, or share electrons as to have 8 electrons in their valence shell or a full outer shell, valence shell. Okay, again, valence electrons are the electrons that are furthest away from the nucleus. So here is my model again. Oxygen right now, before adding these two, it would have 6 valence electrons. Nitrogen has 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Carbon has 4, and hydrogen, well, hydrogen just has 1 electron. Okay, and again, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen want to be like neon, which has a full octet.